Yo, what's up guys, back again with another video in the Node.js and Express series. This episode we're going to be taking the data that we got from the API last episode and putting it on the website. Okay guys, so now that we actually know how to access APIs and do our HTTP requests and all that fun stuff, we can actually use that data to actually display stuff on our website and just do some really cool stuff, okay? So I'm going to show you an example, and hopefully you can follow along and learn with me, okay? So let's just delete everything else that we have here. We don't need it. We're just going to start all over, basically. But we do have our other routes, of course. We're going to keep these for later because, of course, we're still going to be building a gaming website. But anyway, so what we want to do is take data from the API from Goodreads, or not Goodreads, the Unsplash API. We're gonna be taking picture data and then displaying pictures like this. Let me show you. So like this, where if you go to games, we have these these game templates here. So we're gonna display each picture like this. So whatever data gives us about the pictures, we're gonna try displaying it and see what we can do with it. Okay, so it's gonna be really cool, and I hope you like it. So let's actually get started. So to do that, we're gonna need to actually make a route so we can actually put the picture somewhere, So app.get, and we'll just make a new route. We'll just call it pics, I guess, /pics for the pics route. And then we need, of course, a callback function, so recres. And then here we can actually render a page, but we don't have a page yet, so let's actually make one inside the views folder. Right click, new folder. We can just call it pictures, I guess, pictures.ejs. Okay, cool. So then we'll just render that. So res.render pictures. Now you don't need to put EJS because, of course, that's our default view engine now. So let's make sure this works by going to the pics page. So let me go ahead and pull this up here. Okay, here we go. So let's go to pics. And I already started the server. It's just running Node.js right now, so it's going to do everything automatically, of course. So yeah, okay, it worked. No errors. It just showed the page. And it's empty, of course, because we haven't added anything yet. So let's go ahead and add some simple stuff like our header and our footer. So let's do that. So like that, include partials header. There we go. Okay, and then we'll do our footer, include partials footer. So that should add those two things. And there we go. So we get our header right here. Cool. So that's awesome. Okay. So let's go to pics now. Like we were just at. Okay, there we go, we're at pics. So let's add a header here, h1. These are all of the pictures. Okay, there we go. And there we go, so cool, that works. Oh yeah, I want to show you something, by the way. If we go to our header here, and just wherever we're calling upon stuff from the public folder, if we're trying to get a picture or something like that, or a style sheet from the public folder, make sure you have a slash in front of what you're accessing. Like, instead of having images / Cortex logo, make sure you have a slash in front, because it just needs that. I don't know why exactly you would need a slash in front of it. I don't know the specifics of how to call upon file directories and all that fun stuff, but yeah, just make sure you have a slash in front of it, because depending on what web page you're on, what route you're on, it's going to display stuff kind of weird sometimes. Like I found out that you know how that 2 episodes ago it was covering the header up here. It was under the nav bar, even though we added the thing to our style sheet. It was covering it because we didn't reference the style sheet correctly, okay? Because we need to actually have a slash here, like that, okay? So if we go ahead and go to certain routes, it's not going to work because we don't have that slash in front of it. So yeah, so make sure you have a slash in front whenever you're accessing stuff from the public folder. And yeah, pretty simple, but yeah. Okay guys, so now that we actually have this route set up, let's actually work with some data. So if we go back to this API, the Unsplash API, let's try and get some let's do some stuff here. So let's find some information. Let's just call upon that one that we called upon before, the list photos one, so we can get a list of a bunch of photos that we can display, of course, like I said. So let's just copy this link here. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and so what we're going to do here this time, we're going to run the request function inside of here. Okay, so that means that whenever they go to this route, it'll request it for us, basically. Okay, so yeah, if we go to this function here, if we put the link here like this, then it should make that request, and then have your callback function, function error response body, like that. And it looks weird because, you know, the screen is kind of smaller. See, it's just resizing it for us. That's why it looks like that. So yeah, there we have that. And then let's go ahead and check and see if there's an error. If there's an error, console.log that error, just like that. And then else. So if there's not an error, then we could do something else. So we could say res.render, and then we could render the body if you don't know. So that will actually display the body. Let's see what happens when we do that. So let's go to the pix route, and nothing happened. So let's see what the problem is. Oh yeah, we're still rendering it down here. I gotta get rid of this part. Let's do that. Let's get rid of that. Now let's reload, and we get a giant error, it looks like. So it says, oh, auth error, your access token is invalid. That's because we didn't have our client ID, so we have to actually have our client ID like we did last episode, so make sure you add that. I'm going to add mine real quick. Okay, there's my client ID, and make sure you have an and sign before each parameter, so if you don't have that, make sure you add it right there. So anyway, let's reload here, and it should work now. Okay, and we get an error, but let's see what the error says. It says, cannot find module, let's try send, because you can't exactly render a string anyway, so that's probably why, because we're trying to render a string. That doesn't make any sense. So let's try this. So there we go. Now we get the data. And the thing is, if you notice, if you keep a close eye, remember we didn't parse this into a JSON yet, so it's only displaying a string. But we have this plugin here, so that's why it's displaying it like this, is because it thinks that string is actually JSON, but it's not, of course. So what we should do is parse the JSON. Parse. There we go. So that would be more correct to do, more valid, I guess. So let's reload here, and then there we go. This is actually JSON. But anyway, so here we can see we actually got the data successfully for that page. And so as you can see, we have a parameter here that says page 1. So let's try. Oops. Let's scroll up all the way. So let's click one of these images real quick. Okay, and let's go back. So now this link is purple, so we'll know that this means this is the first page. So let's go to the second page, okay? So if we go to 2 here, which changes to 2, let's reload. There we go. And so it's not purple anymore because we're on page 2 now, so we know we haven't used that one yet. So if we go back to page 1, now we know we were on this page 1 before because it's purple. But anyway, so yeah, we can successfully you know, switch between pages now because we're using this parameter here. That's pretty cool stuff. But anyway, so now that we have access to all this cool data, let's actually do something with it. So what we can do is send the data to this pictures.ejs page and then render it with a for loop like we did with the actual the games page, right? So we're going to try doing that, and so it's going to be really cool. So yeah, so I hope you're excited. So anyway, we're going to render this. So you know, to actually send stuff to a page, you have to render it and the page itself. So we're going to render pictures.ejs, or just pictures, like that. And then if you want to send stuff, of course, to a page, we put like that, and we open this up. And then on the left side, of course, you're going to put the data that you're sending, or the name of the variable that we can access on the other side. So we can call it, we'll call it pick data. Okay, and this on the right side, we're going to put the name of the actual data that we're sending on this side of the code. Okay, so basically what I mean is that, of course, we've already done this, but what I mean is pick data is the variable we're going to be accessing right here. But on this side, we need to put the variable that's out here that we need to send to this one to get over here, basically. You already know what this means, probably, because you've watched the other episodes, hopefully. But anyway, so we're going to be sending the JSON.parse, the parsed body of JSON, basically, or just JSON, okay? So that's what we're sending, right? It's just the JSON code. And so that should render the page successfully and also send the stuff at the same time, of course, because we've done this. So let's try reloading here. And now we get the page like normal, of course. But to actually display the data, of course, we need to actually, you know, do stuff with it. But yeah. So let's do what we did last time. Let's actually make a for loop that can, you know, loop through all of them. But actually, let's not make a for loop yet. Let's just render a single picture, just so we can get a template for all of the pictures that we're going to display, you know, for the for loop. So let's actually make a div here. So this will hold, you know, one picture, basically. And so let's actually put an image here for the picture, like this. Okay, the source will be the actual picture. So let's go back to our data. Let's pull up our data so we can see what we want to pull from that. So let's do that. Okay, so we have all this data here, right? So what do we want to put for the source here so we can display? We have these options here. So these are the URLs for each of the images. There's different types of images basically. There's a thumbnail, so that's a smaller version. You have the actual raw, which is the full size image, but as you can see, it takes a long time to load because these images on this website, the quality of these images are just massive. Like the resolution is just insane. So that's why that is. So we're probably just going to want to access either the small one or the thumb one. So we'll just do small because that'll make sure it's not too small like the thumbnail one. So let's just copy this path here, and then we're going to go back, and then we're going to access the variable that we sent, by doing %sign equals, because we're displaying it, of course. That's what the equal sign is for. And then we can do pick data, because that's the variable that we sent over, as you can see right here, pick data. So we're going to access pick data, and then we should be able to do this like that, and then we'll close it off, closing EGS tag, and let's see what happens whenever we run this. Let's reload here. And we get a picture, so it successfully displayed it. So that's really awesome. As you can see, we were actually able to use data from an API and then do something with it. As you can see here, it's a very simple example, but it's pretty cool, as you can see. So let's actually resize it so it's not too big. So because we're going to be displaying a bunch of pictures, right? So let's actually add some styling here. So I'm just going to add some styling, like I said. So style width. Let's set the width equal to 286 pixels by a height of 180 pixels. That should be good enough. Let's try that. So yeah, so there we go. There's our pictures. And so all of the pictures should be that size, of course, because we're using a template. You'll see that we're just going to loop this over and over, basically. You'll see. Now that we have the picture here, let's add some more stuff. Let's add let's add some more data. Like, let's add the person who, added the picture, so we should be able to get that piece of data from here. Let's look closely. We can get the user information, I guess the person who submitted it. Let's see, it says their name right here. Okay, cool. So let's actually display that name. So let's copy this path here, and then let's display that. So we'll do p, say by, so it's by that person, opening tag here, pick data. There we go. Closing tag. Let's see what happens. So as you can see, it actually displayed the person who made the photo. So that's really cool, as you can see. So anyway, let's add some more data. So this can be pretty detailed. We can use a bunch of data to actually do some stuff. Let's actually add the date that it was created on too, because I think we should be able to get that. Yeah, it says up here actually created at, and then there's the date. So let's get this. Right click, JSON view. You don't have to copy the path obviously, but this is a huge amount of data. So it could get pretty confusing to actually figure out the path every time. So I just like to copy it. It makes your life way easier, as you can see. So created by name on, and then we'll have the date like this. Pick data. There we go. So let's go back and reload. Now it says the date. Awesome. Okay, cool. So then let's add some more stuff. Just keep adding more stuff just to make it detailed. Let's add the dimensions of the photo. So we should be able to get that from somewhere. Oh yeah, right here. So we can get the width and height of the actual photo itself. Yeah, let's actually add that. So dimensions, like this. There we go. Let's actually copy this width here. Pick data. Is there a space here? I think I need to yeah, there we go. Pick data. There we go. So that's the width, and then we'll put times. Oh wait, no, we need to close the tag, of course, and then times. We'll do it again. Pick data. And we'll just change this to height. There we go. So that should put the dimensions. And there we go. So we get dimensions 2213 by 2776 or 2766. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's awesome. I don't know why there's a space here, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Like I said, I'm not good at design, but anyway, so let's add one more thing. So we, because we're short on time, I guess you could say. So let's add the likes. Okay, this one has a lot of likes, 430. So let's add the likes, number of likes. So we'll do that. So likes. So yeah, that's that. So if you're wondering why I'm doing all this, I basically want you to understand how to actually successfully retrieve data from a JSON API, I guess, and then actually display it on your website and do stuff with that data. So I just want you to understand how to access the data and then do whatever you want with it, okay? Because it's really cool. It's very powerful. As you can see, we can do many things with it. So let's actually reload here, and now we have the likes. So that's cool. So let's actually add one more couple things here. Let's add something to the div like a border. We'll do 2 pixel solid red. There we go. Reload. No? Did I do that wrong? Oh yeah, we need to say border. Derp. There you go, so we get a border here. But as you can see, the width is kind of weird, so we'll add a width here also. Width, we'll do it about 290, I think. That should be good enough. Let's try that. No? Pixels, maybe? That's weird. Okay, yeah, so it worked. There we go, 290 pixels. And that should be good. But I saw one more thing I think we could do here. It gives us a color of the picture. I don't know why, but I guess each picture has a color associated with it. But let's actually get that color here, and then we'll set it equal to the background color of this div here. So that can be pretty cool, right? So background color, like that. Pick data. Let's try that, see what happens. Well, that's pretty cool. I mean, it kind of blocked out, you know, the letters and stuff, but so yeah, let's just leave it for now, see what happens, okay? But anyway, so what we want to do now that we have a template for every picture that we want to display, let's actually loop this whole div here so that we can loop for every object, which is a picture in this JSON here, right? Because every object is a picture, like I just said 2 seconds ago. So yeah, we're going to be looping through those objects and then making a div for each of those objects, okay? So anyway, of course, we've already done this with the list page. We just made a for loop here. So we're going to do that with this because that's how you do it pretty much. It's a good way to do it. You can do a for each loop, but I'm going to just do a simple for loop. I like it better. So do for, I'm going to say var I is equal to 0, I is less than pick data dot length I plus plus, okay? So what this is going to do basically is just loop through however many objects are inside of pick data, because pick data, as you can see, is an array here of objects, so it's going to count the length of how many objects there are and then loop through each one, right? That's a simple for loop. So yeah, we're going to close this off, of course, right here. There we go. So that should be able to loop through. So let's try it, see what happens. So loop through, but as you can see, they're stacked, and it's the same picture every time, okay? So what we need to do is change all of these zeros here to i's, okay? Because it's going to be looping through, it's going to be displaying whatever iteration it is on the loop, basically, okay? Because if we keep it on I every time, it's of course just going to be looping through the same one every time, which is the first one in the index, or the loop, right? So we don't want to loop through the same one every time, so make sure you have it on I, okay? I corresponds to this in the loop, of course. This is pretty simple stuff, but if you don't understand, that's why. So yeah, as you can see here, we actually get all of the pictures now inside of the page. So that's really, really cool, as you can see. So that's something awesome. And as you can see, they have their own background color, all their own information. And yeah, so hopefully you like that. I don't know why it's stacked like this. Actually, I do know, because we need to put them in an actual a row, like we did last time with the list page, because we have to make them formatted very nicely in a row. So let's actually add a div around this for loop like we did last time. So row, cut this, paste it, move it forward. There we go. So this looks a little better. There we go. Okay, cool. So anyway, let's actually reload here, and yeah, it looks formatted way better. There we go. So it's kind of responsive too, so it opens and closes a little bit. So that looks pretty cool, right? I mean, it's not the prettiest page, but just the fact that we can access this data and actually display all of the data is really cool. It's really actually awesome. So yeah, hopefully you get an understanding of how you can do that now. But as you can see here, if you go back to our app here, our route, we're only displaying the pictures from page 1, right? So what if we make it so we can actually let the user choose what page they want to display the pictures from, right? That would be even more awesome, right? So they can choose, what page they want to do it from. So if we go to page like 30 or 40, for example, right, it's going to display something totally different. So yeah, so let's let the user choose somehow, okay? So if we want to keep it simple, let's let them choose by actually specifying here in the route what page they want to have, like this, like page, like like that. So let's actually add a route. Let's make the same route. Let's copy this here. We'll paste that like that, and then we'll add a route parameter like this, page. So that basically means if they add this route parameter here, it's going to run this route, of course. But if they don't provide any route parameters and just do /pigs, it's going to run this route, of course, because that's just how routes work. Basically, it's just going to get the one that matches. Okay. So anyway, these routes are going to do the same thing fundamentally, but one's going to provide a page number, and one's just going to do the first page, basically. Okay. So what I mean is that if they don't provide a page number, let's just make it so that it displays only the first page or nothing at all, because of course if we go to the API here, it says that the first, if they don't provide a page parameter, it's going to be default by 1. Okay, so we don't even need to have a parameter here anyway, so yeah. So anyway, if they don't provide a parameter here or a page number, it's just going to display the first page, like I said. So yeah, let's get rid of this, and it should display the first page. Okay, so that is the first page. So yeah, that's that. And so let's make it so this one, they can actually choose what page they want to display. Okay. So we can do that by storing the route parameter inside of a variable. So let's do that. So var page number equal to rec.params.page. So that's how we get that. Pretty simple. We've already done this before. So let's actually get rid of this here and then plug it in just like this. Let's get rid of this space. So we can plug in that parameter here. So page number. So then the request will be made differently depending on what page number they provide in the route. So that's pretty cool. So then, yeah, so let's try that out. So if we reload here, it's just going to display the first page because we didn't provide any pages, right? But if we put /6, for example, now it's going to display a totally different array of pictures. So we can do number 1, of course, also. Oh, it says can't get pics 1. That's interesting. I wonder why. Oh, I guess it was just, I don't know, just some kind of error. I just reloaded, whatever. So that's fine. So let's go to page 2 now, and we can go to pretty much any page, right? That's pretty cool stuff. Page 100. So now you can actually see how we can actually make different requests depending on what the user specifies inside of routes. So that's pretty magical, as you can see. Let's actually add one more cool thing, which is going to be on the page. We can display what page that the person is on. So we can say these are all the pages on page, 100, for example. So let's try adding that feature. So if they don't provide a page number, it will just display 1. Okay, so we'll send that data over. So we'll do it like this. So page number, just 1, like that. Okay. Of course, we need a comma. Okay, we already have the comma, like that. Okay, so then we'll take that data and go here, and we'll say these are all of the pictures on page, and we'll put the page number here. So that should show it. Let's try that. Oh yeah, wait, we need to go to the default one first. So these are all the pictures on page. It doesn't show it for some reason. Oh, I see why. I tried to access it from pic data. I meant to do it from just page number by itself. Just a simple mistake here. So we're accessing the page number variable, of course, from here, which is going to be 1 because they didn't provide any route parameters, which is going to be the page number. So anyway, we'll reload here, and now it says these are all the pictures on page 1. Okay, so let's add this functionality for this page also, or this route. So we'll just say page number is going to be equal to page number up here, so it's whatever they provide also from the route parameter. So like that. So now if we reload here and go to a certain page like 40, and now it says these are all the pictures on page 40, and then we can do like that. Oh wow, but there's not that many pages, but it still works like that. So we can do oh wow, 413, that's a page. So yeah, it works basically. That's really cool. So yeah, as you can see here, we're actually able to display all of the pictures that we got from the data and all of its data associated with it. Not all of the data, but a good amount of data we were able to display here for whatever page we wanted to display pictures from. So I mean, that, as you can see by itself, is a really cool feature. We were able to take API data, use it on our website, and actually display it however we want to. So that's very powerful if you think about it. We can actually take API data from a lot of APIs and do whatever we want with it to our website and make a really cool website, as you can see. So hopefully you can think of some ideas you might want to work with. But yeah, hopefully that wasn't too confusing for you guys. If you have any questions, of course, you could leave a comment in the comment section and I'll help you out. Or we have a Discord in the description where you could join that, hang out with us, ask questions, whatever you want to do. And yeah, one more thing. We have a link here in the description also, which is going to be all of the code from today's episode. So make sure you check it out and bookmark it for future reference so you don't forget what you're doing. And yeah, so if you liked the video, leave a like. If you want to see more, subscribe, and peace.